You've probably seen a calla lily before, right? I mean, it's that stunning, almost sculptural flower you see everywhere. Weddings, art, you name it. It's just elegant. But what if I told you there's a whole story packed into that simple shape? A story that goes way beyond just being beautiful. Well, that's what we're going to dive into today. Let's get started. Yeah, this quote really hits the nail on the head. Beauty that arrests, beauty that carries weight. It's not just about being pretty, It's about a kind of beauty that has real substance, real depth, the kind that literally stops you in your tracks and makes you go, wow, what is that? It has a certain gravity to it. So that's the big question, isn't it? What is this flower really trying to tell us? We're going to peel back the layers here, kind of like an onion. We'll look at its name, its unique structure, and even its kind of surprising life cycle. The goal? To find the incredible story that's hidden inside this simple, elegant flower. All right, first up, what's in a name? Turns out, our first big clue is right there in the word calla itself. Let's take a look. Okay, so the name Calla actually comes from this ancient Greek word kalos. Now, for the Greeks, kalos wasn't just about looking good. It was so much more. It meant a kind of deep, harmonious beauty, one that even had a sense of moral goodness to it. So right off the bat, the name itself is telling us we're dealing with a beauty that's more than skin deep. But just when you think you're starting to get it, the calla lily throws a total curveball at us. Get this, our most basic assumption about this flower, it's completely wrong. It turns out the calla lily isn't a lily at all, not even close. It's actually from a totally different family of plants, the arum family. And isn't that just perfect? The fact that it's misnamed is its first lesson for us. It's like the flower is telling us from the very beginning, hey, look past the label, look deeper than what you think you see to find out what's really there. And so much of its message is right there in its shape. I mean, just look at it. On one hand, it looks like a trumpet, right? Like it's heralding some big announcement. But at the same time, it also looks like a chalice, a cup, something designed to hold what's sacred. Its beauty isn't just for show. It's making a statement. It has a job to do. Okay, so let's dig into the flower's actual structure, because this is where we find what you might call a sermon in simplicity. So that big, beautiful white part that we all think of as the flower, well, it's not the flower. It's actually called a spathe, which is basically a single, specially designed leaf. Its entire purpose is to be this gorgeous, elegant covering that points our attention inward. Because right in the middle on that little spike, that's called the spadix. That's where the real flowers are. And they're tiny. They're super unassuming, almost totally hidden. So the most dramatic, beautiful part of the plant is really just an advertisement, pointing us to the truly essential, life-giving part we would probably miss otherwise. And this is such a beautiful illustration of that larger idea, right? That God often cloaks essential things in simplicity. It's so true. You think about really important things like bread or water or just a tiny seed. The calla lily's whole design is a living, breathing reminder that the most vital stuff is often wrapped up in the simplest packages. All right, now for something really interesting, the art of disappearing. We're going to shift our focus now from what we can see above ground to the hidden world, down below the soil, where the calla lily's real power is hiding. See, calla lilies grow from these things called rhizomes. They're these thick stems that live completely underground. You can think of them as the plant's life battery. It's this hidden powerhouse that stores up all the energy, the memory of the plant, and the complete promise that it will one day bloom again. All of that is held underground, even when there's absolutely nothing to see on the surface. And that's important because after its season of glory, the calla lily does something that can look, a little bit alarming. The leaves start to yellow, that beautiful white spathe wilts and collapses, and eventually every single trace of the plant above the ground just disappears. It's gone. But here's the key. This isn't failure. It's not death. It's a rhythm. It's a purposeful, necessary season of rest. That disappearance is absolutely crucial because deep down in the soil, that rhizome is doing its work. It's saving up energy, it's getting ready, and it's just waiting. And this whole cycle has this incredible spiritual parallel, which is captured so perfectly in this verse. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies. I mean, that's exactly what the calla lily does. Its dormant period is a living, breathing example of this universal truth, that sometimes disappearance, this sort of dying to the world, is exactly what's needed for a resurrection, for something even more fruitful to come later. So let's put all these pieces together.
The name, the surprising structure, that incredible life cycle. It's time to really understand the calla lily's core message. What rests will rise.
This really explains why the calla lily is such a powerful flower for both funerals and for celebrations like Easter. It's a symbol that holds both mourning and mourning. It doesn't ignore the grief, right? It acknowledges what's been buried, what's been lost. But in the very same breath, it proclaims hope. It says, hey, just because it's buried doesn't mean it's gone forever. It's a promise that new life absolutely can and will come from loss. So, when you boil it all down, what's the calla lily really telling us? Well, a few things. First, that real beauty doesn't have to scream for attention to be powerful. Second, that the hidden work, the stuff nobody sees, is often way more important than the one big moment in the spotlight. It teaches us that resting isn't the same as giving up. Actually, it's a profound act of trust in the right timing. And finally, it shows us that disappearing for a while might just be the best way to prepare for an even bigger comeback. And at the very heart of it all is this one simple, powerful truth. What is hidden is not lost. It's this quiet, steady promise that runs through the calla lily's entire existence. And that's really the final takeaway here. The calla lily's message isn't some big, flashy, dramatic performance. It's faithful. It's steady. It's this quiet, living testimony that whatever seems to be resting is actually getting ready to rise. And that what God has planted, He has not forgotten. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. After hearing the story of this incredible flower, where in your own life is there a season of silence, a place that feels dormant, maybe even hidden? Where might trust be quietly taking root underground, just waiting for the right time to return?